disrupting the pharmaceutical industry. What does this even mean? Well, Mark Cuban has created a company called Cost Plus. The mission of the company, which you will see immediately when you go to the website, is to work with the underprivileged communities and help them and everybody else have access to affordable medications which are vital to their health. He came across this idea in the mission of the company because he realized that the underprivileged communities have a tendency to contract hookworm. He is offering the specific medication for this, which is on my website. I can't pronounce it. Albendazole or something like that. But it's the major medication for hookworm. It costs thousands of dollars for most people, especially in the underprivileged communities, because they don't have proper health care and they don't have competitive pharmacies. Mark has gotten this cost down to about $37. Now, how does he do this? Well, it's his company. Under the company, he has all the distribution sources, which adds to the cost of our medications. The biggest cost is what they call PBMs, the Pharmaceutical Benefit Manager. That's the person who's making tons of money off of us simply by distributing the medication from your physician to the pharmacy. Mark now has all of this service under his umbrella of Cost Plus. The other aspect which Mark is doing, when you go to his website, which is in my podcast details, but it is Cost Plus. When you go to his website, it has thousands of medications that are available at Cost Plus. What he does is he takes the lowest cost price of the drug, of the medication. He adds $15, I believe, or 15%, not very much, to that so the company can keep running, he says. Then he also adds the delivery, which is about $5 from the pharmacy to you. It's always transparent. You will always see how much you will spend before you push that final button. One of the cons for some people who are living in rural areas is that it is all internet driven. However, if you don't have a home-based computer, public libraries will help you with this. You don't need to have an account that's specific to your home computer. You can go to the public library and they have access for you. I know that Biden has created a lot of rural communities now that are online. In case that's not your situation, the public libraries will help you access Cost Plus. The other aspect of what Mark Cuban is doing to make medications more affordable to a larger segment of our society is he just built his own manufacturing facility. So these thousands of generic drugs, while they're not going to be available immediately, he is starting with epinephrine. I know I mispronounced that too, so go to my website. He started with one of the most important medications for those of us who are allergic to bees and other stinging little creatures. This facility has been created in Deep Ellum, which is actually a really cool area of Dallas. I used to live in that area. So while he's only working with, of course, a few medications, he's worked with one that is significantly in shortage. I hope he works with tetanus, because I tried to get a tetanus shot last year and I couldn't. Now, how weird is that? Tetanus is important to me, and so just a few antibiotics because I volunteer in a garden. I'm always cutting myself there. Sometimes I fall off my bike, not too often, but sometimes I fall off my bike and I scrape this, I scrape that. I hope he works on tetanus next time. But here's another aspect of what Mark Cuban is doing with his company, Cost Plus, is he's created this manufacturing facility that will help. He's focusing on the shortage of very specific medications. check out his website, sign up. It took me about 5 minutes to sign up. If you don't have insurance, he has access to a plan or maybe plans. I have to research that for you. But the whole idea is that the mission of his company is to help the underserved communities. Now, if you are not underserved, if you have good insurance, but you still have high price for medications, you have access to Cost Plus. There's nothing to keep you back from accessing affordable medications. The other thing I have put on my website when it comes to At Our Age, I always like to talk about people, the guidance, which is where Mark's information is going to be, adventure, and then discover. Discover is going to be his company that is a small bakery. It's located in Jupiter, Florida, called Alyssa's Cookies. I'm just going to be very short and sweet, pun intended, about this because I want you to go to the website and check out the Alyssa Bakery. They make vegan products, but they also make just good, healthy oatmeal cookies. They make chocolate almond cookies. They make dark chocolate almond cookies. They make an almond cookie assortment. They are not expensive for this quality of really good, healthy cookies. I probably would gain some pounds because once you start saying healthy and they're good, I eat a few too many. They are available by mail. So if you're shopping for holiday gifts, don't put things in the landfill. Buy something good like this that will not wind up in the landfill, and they're healthy for you, and they're also vegan. So check that out. That's going to be under Discover. The last Mark Cuban company is AXS, AXS TV. I do not own a television. I don't watch any streaming devices. This is so not me. However, I think it'll give people who are into digital TVs, into streaming, into all that stuff that I could care less about. The AXS TV is available. I looked up where it was available. It's available in a lot of places. If I did have a television, or actually I have a laptop, that's how I record on my podcast, I could easily sign up for any of these. Now, obviously, they are paid for services. I don't do any of that stuff. But I think you should really check out AXS TV because it's really interesting series, the music, the documentaries. It's really broad, really interesting. It's not driven by commercials at all. As a matter of fact, it's all free ad streaming. So that's another thing to check out with Mark Cuban's companies. I'm focusing on Mark Cuban for the next few weeks because this guy has his stuff together. I mean, the fact that his mission is to help the underserved communities. What billionaire is helping the underserved communities? Well, there are a few women I can think of, but we won't go down that road because I'm talking about Mark Cuban. So check out his Cost Plus. Sign up for it. Sign up for the newsletter. Keep in touch because perhaps you don't need any medications now, generic medications, but you may know people who do, and you can just forward the newsletter to them. Definitely buy Alyssa's Cookies because it's going to a good cause. It's a small bakery, women-owned. Check out AXS TV because you can give those big boys a run for their money. Again, what billionaire do we know who's trying to help people have a better life and the underserved to have a much better control of their own health? But remember, go on my podcast details. You'll see all the links to Mark Cuban's companies, even help you do some holiday shopping for things that won't wind up in the landfill. I'm Valerie Hale. I create this podcast At Our Age. Also, the other podcast, Wealth Yoga Wine. You can find wonderful information. I call them both DIY self-help podcasts. Merci, au revoir.